And now I'm going to present this design exercise. Okay, so what is the aim of the design exercise? Indeed, this is not a lab, okay? So this is not a place in which you have to design the perfect product service system, all right? This is a monographic course in which we have to learn the knowledge base and the know-how on system design for sustainability, okay? So we have learned throughout the theory, frontal lecture, but you know, to have this key learning better embedded in your knowledge, it's good to make to have this knowledge understood in a design practice, okay? And working in group and discussing with your colleagues and discussing with the teacher, okay? Since they are not trivial issue, you understood that some topics are not so that difficult, but they are new, okay? And so it's good to do this in this way. This is the first aim of making a design exercise. Again, to say the concept that at the end, it won't be the concept that you may develop in a lab. It's another, the scope is different, okay? Then if you enjoy developing the concept and whatever, that's it. And it happens and that's great. And maybe sometime it's coming out something very nice, and that is, okay? But that is not the scope of this design exercise. The other, and the second aim, which is key important as well, is to learn how to use some specific tool in PSS design that address the PSS design process towards sustainable solution, okay? Toward SPSS or SPSS eventually applied to DE, okay? So if you follow a design process and you use some tools that orientate this, of course, you know, in a design practice then, when to use some tool, what are the process to do this, okay? So it's better to do in a design exercise. We will start from the design brief to the design concept, okay? In the brief, this I have already anticipated maybe at the beginning of the lecture and the last lecture when Lorenzo was introducing to you an abridged strategic analysis of the unsustainability of the food system and some key topics that could be useful for you of eating in Bovisa campus, even though you're eating in Bovisa campus. And we did this on purpose because we want to make, you know, the understanding of the context the easiest possible so that you are concentrating on other things and not on developing a strategic analysis and other things that you may be doing in other courses, because we are concentrating in other topics, okay? So it's to design a sustainability system concept based on the two promising model of product service system, sustainable product service system, and distributed economy. Should allow someone to get in. Okay. The methodology that you will be using, not all of the methodology, is the MSDS methodology, Method for System Design for Sustainability, that was presented the last lecture, okay? It's a methodology that started to be developed in 2005 throughout different EU and the United Nations Environmental Program, okay, involving different researchers all around the world, okay, and it's still active, and we have several publications, and we are using this, okay. Said this, since you are not going to use all of the tool, all of the methodology, what we will make during this design exercise In terms of the first phase, the strategic analysis, indeed, the strategic analysis has already been carried out by us. It's an abridged strategic analysis, okay? And it has been presented the last time by Lorenzo, okay? But those information are enough for you to make the design exercise. So, okay, you don't need to have any further information. Then if you want to search, then this is fine, but it's not necessary for the purpose of the course, okay? I have to admit there's some. So in relation to this, what you have to do, since it has already been carried out, you have simply to know what is the results of this abridged strategic analysis. So to view and to read the results. The other part that are the processes with some tool that you will be carried out are related to the exploring opportunity phase, in which you will generate the idea and you will start the idea generation today and you will complete it the next lecture, and then you will develop up to a concept level the sustainable system for the heating in Bovisa campus, okay? Making at the end a qualitative environmental and socio-ethical evaluation of the concept that you have developed. But let's see this a little bit more into the few detail more. This is the overall process. Then I will show you after this what you're going to do today, okay? More in detail. So at the beginning, you will be using the sustainability orienting toolkit. Is a toolkit, so it has different sections. You will use this, and this will be today in analyze existing system and priority set. So what you have to do is just to read something that actually was already presented by Lorenzo the last time, but is embedded already in the tool, in a tool that we have made for the class. So you don't have to insert anything. You will find the analysis already embedded there inside, but I will show this better later, okay? Nevertheless, when you are here, you will select strategy by strategy. You remember that for the environmental dimension, we have 6 strategies. For the socio-ethical dimension, we have 6 strategies. Support even for the SPSS applied to DE. Okay, we have 6 strategies with related guidelines. In this case, you will find the reports on the unsustainability of the existing system related to a given strategy, to system life optimization. So for example, system life optimization is the durability of all of the product of the system, or the non-intensified use of the product of the system, and so on. So this will be highlighted over there. So you don't have to do this, it will be already made and you will find it back there. It was presented by Lorenzo, as I said. The same you will do for the socio-ethical dimension. So for not all of the strategy, in this case we have defined it for 3 strategies. So you will read both the report, that is this textual part that is over there, as well as the priority that has been identified. Okay? So this was a work already made. You simply go back and read it to have, before starting, okay, what are the main problems? What are the strategies that has a priority on which I have to focus more than others? Okay. Then we will move to exploring opportunity phase. And the first thing that we are going to do is to use the sustainability design orienting scenario on SPSS and DE. We already saw this during the design exercise. There are 4 videos in relation to the 4 vision of the scenario, but they are helpful to support designer to be somehow immersed in a new paradigm shift, okay? So before generating idea on SPSS and distributed economy, it's good to be to look at this video. We find out in the course of the year in some consultancy that this is helpful. We will do this together, so we will show the video together, not one by one, because if not, it would be a mess here. Then you will really start to work. So using the SDO toolkit in the orientate concept section, where you will find some idea boards. How many? For the environmental dimension, 6 idea boards, because 6 are the strategy. So we have 1 idea board per strategy. And for example, this is system life optimization. You will read all of the guidelines there inside, something that has been already introduced during the lecture, but now you will go through all of the guidelines, okay? So this is key important event to go through, okay? It's not only a design exercise. The guidelines, of course, are inspiring you to generate idea, but the other purpose is even to go through those and to understand those, okay? To embed this knowledge while designing into your brain, okay? Indeed, you can click when you find an example to have some inspiration by the same example. There is a card that you can see, even those were shown during the exercise. And then using a digital post-it, you will brainstorm and you will generate idea, okay? And then when this is made, this is an hypertextual tool. So you will click on, I will show this later a bit better. You will click on other strategy. There is a bar on the bottom with all the strategies and with some button. You move to other strategy with different guidelines and you will generate idea in relation to the other strategy. So here, it's very important to be aware that this is a divergent moment, okay? So if you look at the double diamond scheme, this is a divergent moment, okay? So we are collecting idea, whatever idea, okay? It's not just one concept and that's it, as at the beginning. We collect, we harvest all of the possible idea in relation to each of the strategies. So at the beginning, it's not important that you develop an idea that is, oh, but this is not coherent with the other idea. No, you don't have to think about this, okay, at this stage. Divergence. Now we are harvesting the most of the idea possible, okay? And this is even why we work on different strategies, okay? First, I concentrate on one. I take all of the ideas that I can out, then on the second, then on the third, and so on, okay? First on the environmental, then on the socio-ethical, and then on SPSS and D. The same you will be doing for the socio-ethical dimension. We have different strategy, we have different guidelines, different example, of course, different idea will emerge. And then you will do, at the end, when this is made, on what about if all I think or something else is applied to a distributed economy? So you will go through 6 idea table related to 6 strategies with related guidelines and example, and you will brainstorm again over there. So a bunch of ideas at that point, okay, you will have. So this is the moment in which we have to converge to develop a concept. So we are moving to system concept design. And the tool that you are going to use is the innovation diagram in the concept section. The innovation diagram has different sections. And what you're going to do, you're going to select the most promising idea that you have developed in the SDO toolkit, and you will drag and drop and position those ideas. They are color code, okay? SPSS and DE has this color. The socio-ethical are orange-like, and the environmental are some green, okay? So you will select the most of the most promising idea, and you will position in the in a polarity diagram, okay? Whether it's B2B or B2C, whether it's distributed and decentralized or centralized, okay? Indeed, this is very similar to the polarity diagram of the sustainability design orienting scenario, okay? This is a stage not only to copy and paste, but in this stage you will be able to generate a new idea. So it's not a mechanical thing, okay? I put it there, I see two ideas that are close together, maybe I have another idea, then you generate a new idea, or maybe another technique is, well, I have an idea over here that is decentralized, distributed, and is mainly B2C. What about if it's going hardly B2B? So maybe you may have other ideas, okay? So use it as a generative tool, not just, okay, for selecting the most promising idea. Then it will be the time to say, okay, said this, I did the best to have all the idea. I select a bunch of ideas that are coherent with each other to be part of a concept. So you cannot put two ideas that cannot be in one concept, because one is saying one thing and the other is saying the opposite. So you will select this, and you will start to have a first draft description of this concept, okay? And this is all in Miro, okay? We will present this tool not today, but when it will be the time. When this is made and you have made a description, you can even profile the draft concept that you have developed. And this you can use some label to profile it. And you will see that, for example, there is a type of SPSS, who is, if there is a product, who is the owner of the product. If there is the service, who is offering the service. The payment modality, the offer configuration, it means what type of is centralized distributed. So, of course, it's a profiling that is guiding you to understand whether it's an SPSS, what type of SPSS or DE or distributed economy it is. So it's made on purpose for this. Then you will go on designing, really, since you have a draft concept, you design the concept. And you may be using some common tool that you have learned to use, okay? But some still specific of sustainability, okay? For example, this is an SPSS concept, SPSS concept description form. Simply what you write inside the satisfaction unit. It's easy. This is a textual. Again, it's in Miro. Okay, you have you will find all those tools into the same board. Okay, so you can move from one to the other very easily. You can define a title, a draft title, a draft concept, and then you can profile either in a textual way, or you can drag and drop some of the label that you have produced before. When this is made, okay, let's move. You know the system map you have been using, but in this case, I'm asking you to use a system map that we develop to be useful for SPSS and distributed economy. Indeed, even this is Miro based. You will find it in Miro, so it's even collaborative. You will see it's quite user-friendly. Design the actor. This is in every system map. The interaction, whether they are material, information, labor flow, or whatever, this is in every system map. But for example, here you have to highlight the ownership. You have a hardware, a product, and you have to identify and define even graphically who is the owner. So it's precise and it's there, okay? Or the partnership that may exist. You will define the modality of payment. There are some typical payment modality, pay-per-use, pay-per-period, of course, okay? So you have icons and labels for highlighting those. Finally, you will highlight whether the actor that is producing or is a prosumer, whether he's doing this in a centralized, decentralized, or distributed way. Okay, so you have different icons to highlight this. Then this is not mandatory to be used. It's in Miro. You want to use it or not? It's up to you. Use whatever you want. You can use a blueprint. You can use a journey map. I mean, do the way use the tool you want. If you want to experience the use of this tool, it's okay. If not, I don't. That's not a problem for me. All right. Nevertheless, this is for each of the stakeholder. You have a role. You can drag and drop the label, and then you describe each action with a picture, with the text, and highlighting the role of the actors. Then you indicate the product and the services and the ownership on the top. Again, you will be using, you could be using the interaction storyboard that we have developed into Miro. These are part of the MSDS methodology, but you can use the storyboard you want, okay? If you feel more confident, use the one you want. Okay, in this case, if you have used the interaction table, you can, since you have defined some images with background and with silhouette of the actors and so on, you can drag and drop the same images into the storyboard. So it's made to make it faster and easier some processes. Of course, the interaction table is in more line. The interaction storyboard is just on one line, okay? And so there is a color code to identify the actors, and this is, we are using this for strategic conversation when you have different actors that have to be co-designed together. But there are other tools to do this, so it's okay. Another tool that we are using in the MSDS methodology is the satisfaction offering diagram. Even this is not mandatory, but this is to visualize with an images and short text the core satisfaction. So what we are satisfying, what we are offering to the client, to the user, which is in the middle, the sub-offer, and how these sub-offer are delivered. But even this, you can make it in the way you want. What is important is that in one slide, in one images with text or whatever, you give an idea of your product service system, all right? Then you will be asked to sketch, here there are no tools, you do in the way you want, sketch some evidences or touch point of the system, either is a product or an interface or a layout of the space or whatever, some key touch point, but really very drafting them. The last thing that you will be doing, so this will be at the end of this 8th lecture that we are going to have on for the design exercise, you are going to evaluate the concept that you have developed. For this, you are going to use again the SDO toolkit, Sustainability Design Orienting Toolkit, in another section which is called Check Concept. Of course, we will see this in detail when it will be the time. But to say is that for each of the strategy for which we have developed some idea, okay, some PSS idea, so those ideas, believably, they will be embedded in the concept that you have developed, you will evaluate, and what you have to do, you have to write a short report on this, on the left side of this, supported by some checklist, okay, to say, okay, now my concept is not using system life optimization, plastic silvers, but they are washable and reusable silver or dishes or so on, so they last longer and something like this. When this is made, you will select in a qualitative way whether that single strategy reach an incremental, radical improvement, or maybe no improvement. You're say, oh, I didn't do anything. It may happen even that since when you are developing something that is good for one strategy, something is happening that is not that good for another strategy. So you are improving something in relation to one, but not in the other. That is why we are evaluating a concept before going, to develop the final detail of our PSS to be sustainable, okay? And I start to anticipate here that when evaluating this, and you, for example, you show to me, because you will have every day as today something to deliver at the end of the day, okay? If, for example, you it come out that there is something is for one strategy is worse than it was before, this is not a mistake. For me, you well understood that there is something that you have to improve and you have to go on, okay? What I want is that you learn to move into the sustainability dimension and to understand how to deal and to work with those. Of course, supported by the tools. This is why we are using the tools. So you will be doing this for all of the strategy. You will see not all of the strategy. We will restrict to a minimum of 4 for the environmental dimension and 3 for the socio-ethical, not to make it too long, okay? Then you can visualize this in the radar diagram. This is the environmental radar diagram. There are automatically the same information that we have evaluated. We have the priority for each of the environmental strategy here, low priority, high priority, medium priority, and the evaluation of the concept here is incremental plus, double plus, radical improvement, and so on. So here is the moment in which you can compare for a given strategy, for example, sorry, system life optimization, you have a medium priority and you have an incremental improvement. Okay, it's good. It could be that here, okay, for if you have for example, a high priority and you don't have any improvement, or you have a worsening, maybe you have to go back to as an iterative process to generate maybe new idea to improve in relation to a strategy that has a high priority. Okay, this is the way to use the radar diagram. The other thing is that you will highlight, this is a textual space, in short, the reason why there is, in that case, an incremental improvement. And you do this for moving from one strategy to the other. You will fill in all of the field saying the reason of the improvement and so on. So indeed, this is a good tool to show in one shot the qualitative evaluation of your concept. Okay, if you have two concepts, for example, you can compare the two concepts, but in one shot you have a good image. Okay, and to be honest, when we are working with a company, that looks good. Okay, if you simply, when there is a graph and there is this kind of things, it's well made, of course, but it is helpful for having the company to understand that you have been doing a good work. Okay. The same is happening, you will be doing for the socio-ethical dimension. So you made the analysis of the various strategies, you define the report, you define the improvement, and you can visualize those improvements in the radar diagram. Okay? And this will be the end of your project.